Okay, so this is part 3 in a series of videos that I'm doing with Beehiiv because I have made my personal newsletter on Beehiiv. It is the best newsletter platform by far. It's a little expensive, but you can also have a surefire way to make that money back. And today, the first video was all about setting up my website. Second video was how much I've grown using the website's features. Today's video is how I've made money, but you'll also notice if you saw the first video, I have changed the look of my website. So I have a brand new project. It's called Form and Function. That was always the name of the website. But I have this sort of new layout here, which is basically it's interviewing founders of companies. And so the very first issue went out yesterday morning. I'll click in here. If you scroll down, this is Chevy. She owns Buddy Design and she makes these cool mood lamps, which is really cool. I got to know her through another company that I work with, and it's just been really great to sort of lay all this out. And I'm excited to tell sort of behind the scenes stories about how these products that I think are super cool are made by interviewing the founders. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to my newsletter. I'll leave a link down below. But today is kind of how I intend to make money using Beehiiv. And so I'm going to come into the back end here. So now that you've kind of seen the front end of how it all looks, I'll show you this too. So you got my archive here, the brands that I'm working with to make this content happen. You can click into them and see how many articles are written with that brand. And then our about page tells a little bit more obviously about our mission, what we're doing this for, what you can expect, that kind of thing. So it looks really nice. It took me a few iterations to get it to where I want it, but I think this looks really cool. And honestly, this looks like it was made on a website builder, not a newsletter builder. And that says a lot about Beehiiv because they continue to come out. This is an ad. Okay, this is a sponsored video, but I also genuinely love this platform. Just trying to build, a newsletter and a business. There's so many tools here that are helpful. So walking through the front end, here's the back end. This is the dashboard. I'm growing in subscribers. My open rate on the Chevy piece was higher than most of my other pieces, which is fantastic. And then my earnings, which we'll get to here in a second. I want to walk through a couple things. So I mentioned this in the last video, but the best way that you can grow your newsletter through Beehiiv is this thing called boosts. And it basically says you're going to allow other people like BrainBuzz, whoever that is, I don't know, Ultimate Tools, I think I actually do know them. They can basically advertise you on their newsletter. And if anyone subscribes to your newsletter through them, then you set a rate that you'll pay them. So let's see, if I go boosts, overview, I've spent $312 and I have gotten 1,100 total subscribers, but my verified subscribers is 156, which is important because Beehiiv isn't just going to allow any email that subscribes to you to be counted towards that money. It wants to verify them. So if they're not verified, you don't pay. I think that's right. Because they want these to be real emails. They want these to be real people subscribing who are also engaged. So there's actually a couple levels of that verification. You can make it super harsh and not a lot of people come through because maybe that person doesn't use that email a lot or something. Or you can do more of a medium, and I think mine's set for medium. So I basically kind of say who my audience is, say that I will pay you $2 per subscriber, and then people can apply, and these are some of the people that I have accepted. So that's how I've been growing. I do want to show that because I want to show where do I go? Hold on. Just dashboard here. Subscriber growth over the last 12 months might be helpful, maybe not. Let's see. Last 3 months. Okay, so you can see all of these subscribers have come in by way of, yes, the Beehiiv boost tools, but then also word of mouth and organically growing the newsletter. So I think when I started, how do I do this? Hold on. Okay, here. This is an interesting one. You can see which publications are sending me the most subscribers here, and then you can kind of see where they come from on this graph. So I think when I started on here, I had 400 subscribers, something like that. I don't know. Go back and watch the first video. It'll be right here, and you can see how many I started out with. But I just wanted to catch you up on growth because the next thing I do want to talk about is, well, one, you can sell products on here. Well, we'll get to that in a second. You can also have recommendations. These are like your top 4 picks that so if someone subscribes to me, there's a little pop-up that says like, Spencer would also like you to consider subscribing to these other 4 recommendations. And then people can recommend you to, and it can be a cool little network there. So you can see I've actually referred 53 people to other newsletters, which is pretty cool. And then you can set up a referral program too, like for your audience. If you send 5 subscribers my way, I'll send you a sticker. If you send 15, I'll send you a hat, that kind of thing. So you can have different reward tiers for growing your subscription. All right, but we're talking about monetization mostly today, and that is the ad network. So this works the same way. So we'll start with boosts. This is the same kind of thing. If I send people your way and they subscribe, then I get paid, right? So these Do Good Crew, Porter's Daily Journal, they have agreed to allow me to send people their way, and they would pay me to do that. So this is just the same thing I just talked about, but the opposite way. So I'm helping other newsletters by sending subscribers their way, and then they send me some money. The ad network is probably the coolest thing about Beehiiv. There are tons of brands. It used to be that you would have to sort of apply to a brand to see if you could use them on your newsletter. So when you create a new post, you have this ability to drop in a sponsor. And it used to be where like the old way of doing it was like every Monday they would send me an email saying like these people would sponsor your post, but they've sort of expanded upon that, and now they have like people who are sort of ready and waiting to sponsor anyone. So like here I can just claim this. I don't even have to like get accepted by them or anything like that. I think there's some AI, maybe some automation happening where like it knows that Whisperflow would be a good fit for my newsletter based on what my newsletter talks about and what it is. So it just gives me these options. So I don't even have to wait around to see. So if I go ahead and claim this, what I can do now is I can pick through their options for the sponsorship and what it will look like. So there's different types. You can do them with the logo. So it puts at the very top, you can see right here, it'll say that at the top of your newsletter in partnership with Whisperflow, and then you can put the ad wherever you want in your newsletter during a break or whatever. Or you can do without logo, and then you put it wherever, and then there's not that header that says in partnership. So I can pick through here, pick one that makes the most sense, confirm and add to a post, and then it gives you like a timeline. They want you to post by May 11th for this one, for instance. So that is a great way of making money on Beehiiv. Now, the thing is, there is sort of a tipping point here because you can pay, I'm on the max plan. So the max plan is $109 a month, which is a lot, right? So I'd have to like make that much back with sponsorships, with boosts, that kind of thing in order for that to make sense. For me, as a small business owner who has revenue coming in, the tools and the efficiency and customer service and like my relationship with the people at Beehiiv already really just make this like a no-brainer for me. Like I can't imagine going to Substack or something at this point, because not only are there great tools to make money, building the website has great tools. It's fantastic. I've basically custom built a lot of different things on here, off of a template or not off a template, or using Claude. I've asked Claude to like make my about page, that kind of thing. So there's a lot here, and even when you're building your website, there's AI built in there too. So you could be like, hey, can we change all the font here? Or like, can you change the spacing? And Beehiiv's AI will fix all of that. So there's just an immense amount of tools here, and yes, I'm being paid to make this video, but this is the newsletter platform for me right now. And so I talk about this highly to anyone that is interested in a newsletter, and I think the real question comes with cost. So let me see if I do like all time. So I've made $22 off of ads and boosts, which isn't a ton, right? If it's $109 a month, but I only have 679 subscribers. The other thing is like another way to make money with any newsletter, no matter where it is actually, something this sort of takes into account, but not fully. Say all 600 subscribers of mine were business owners or C-level executives. There are so many brands that would pay top dollar to get in front of 679 C-level executives, or founders. Like QuickBooks wants to get in front of founders because it can help with their taxes, right? So in accounting. So you can pitch your audience as well, and then you can create your own ads within your newsletter. So that's a quick way that isn't necessarily through Beehiiv, but allows you to justify the cost and the tool sets here that are amazing. Also, recently, I just got to mention, they came out with podcasts, so you can start your podcast right here in the platform. I heard an announcement that they're going to be doing webinar stuff too. And then, yeah, you can sell products on here as well. So like, if you have digital products, if you have courses, things like that, those are all in there. And then of course, this hasn't even occurred to me because I don't really want to do paid subscriptions right now, but you can do paid subscriptions. You can have paywalls. Only, paid subscribers see certain posts, others just see the free posts, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of ways, and I think what's interesting about Beehiiv is they continue to iterate, they continue to pump out features like insane people. Like, it's almost every day I see Tyler Dank, the founder, CEO, whatever, on LinkedIn saying like, guess what, we're rolling out 10 new features, and they work really well. And it's been a joy working with them. That's my website. Go subscribe. It's going to be life-changing if you subscribe to my newsletter. No. You can learn a little bit more about the newsletter and the whole company and everything that I'm trying to do. I made an article about that too. That's all about me and the team and what we're trying to do here. So that does it for this video. I really do love Beehiiv. I know I've said it like 4 times, but yeah. Definitely check it out. If you use my link down in the description, you get 30% off, I think, for the first 3 months. Let me see, I actually have it at the bottom here. Where is it? Use code Spencer30 for 30% off your first 3 months. Yeah, and of course, it would help support the channel as well if you use our link and you start using one of the paid tiers. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you to Beehiiv for sponsoring today's video. If you enjoyed, on this channel, we help you discover products that marry form and function. We like products that improve our lives and look good while doing so. And Beehiiv is a software version of that. So if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, like this video for more, hype it up if you would, watch that video next. I think you're gonna love it. And feel free to watch the other 2 videos in this series as well to learn more about Beehiiv and all that they've got going on. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.